Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak for June 13th, 2020. So, kind of a throwback from 2019 summer. You see behind me photograph of me from 2019, about 1 year ago. That was actually in August 2019 in Poland. And it was a fun time in Poland, my first time in Poland. I went to Poland to deliver my paper on Jewish studies at the European Association for Biblical Studies. But as you know, I'm single. So, hopefully God will give me somebody to marry, some good Christian person. So I actually had a type of bachelor in Poland, and I shared with you all the women that I dated in Poland um, last year in one of the coronavirus update shows. So you could kind of review that show. And the four ladies there are officers in the military of Belgium. So U.S. Air Force, not U.S., Belgium Air Force, Belgium Navy, Belgium Army. So they just graduated from their military academy and were celebrating their graduation and new commission. And I saw President Trump speak at West Point today. So I kind of, thought back to my time with this new graduates from military academies in the Kingdom of Belgium. They have a king in Belgium, in Europe. So Poland is nice, and I was glad to have met them in Poland. But yeah, there are a lot of people who are in the military, and all four of them are officers in the military in Belgium. So their citizenship is in Belgium. And yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I dated over 12 single women, and you can see their photos on the Bachelor in Poland episode of Coronavirus Update. It was like several weeks ago. So yeah, it was a fun episode. Yeah, you could vote for the one that you like the most. But yeah, it's too bad, coronavirus has taken away our vacations in Europe, and it's sad because I love Europe. I love vacationing in Europe. Europe is so fun, and I've been to Europe so many times. When I used to fly over to Israel, because I lived in Israel for 3 years, I would always stop over like in Holland and Amsterdam. I used to fly KLM and then free stopover, and I got to see Van Gogh Museum, Amsterdam. There's a National Museum of Art there. Um, and yeah, I mean, I, I took every opportunity to explore Europe. It's a wonderful continent. And Poland, it was my first time in Poland last year in 2019. And I was really glad to see the city and the country. I visited Warsaw and Gdansk, and I got to meet a lot of Polish women and, a bachelor in Poland, which was fun. Yeah, so yeah, it's life can be, filled with a lot of fun and joy. I mean, life is what you make it. I shared with you before that I had a flatmate who's Druzi. Druzi is like a religion in a religious group in Israel, Belgium, not Belgium. I'm looking at the Belgian women, but Israel, Lebanon, and Syria. And Druzi is like a mixture of like Islam and other religions, but they're not Islam. And one of my roommates was Druzi and Sarman. I call him Sarman the Druzi, and he would always say, "Life is what you make of it, so make the best of it." So I think it's a good philosophy because, I mean, there are things that's going to always happen in life. Good things happen, but that bad things happen, and you can't be bogged down by bad things. You got to try to make the best of life. And I know some of you are graduating from high school and college right now. I know UCLA's graduation ceremony is in June. And this is like a time, it's the greatest time of your life, especially if you graduate from high school. I mean, that high school graduate is a big deal because basically most of the Americans graduate from high school, although not all the Americans go to college. Less than 30% of Americans go to college. Um, yeah, so it's you know, um, it's it's when you think about it, it's life is like that. There are things that come and go, and you just have to make the life best of it. Even though there's COVID-19 right now, a lot of things are shut down. You may not have a physical graduation ceremony at UCLA or in your high school, but you still can find a way to make best of it. I know some of you probably went to beach today with your friends or your family. Virginia Beach is open, Ocean City, Maryland Beach is open, and they're like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from Northern Virginia. Oh, I guess Virginia Beach is further away, but maybe 3-4 hours from here. But I mean, there are places to go to have fun and enjoy the beach life. Ocean City, Maryland is a lot of fun. I understand there's a beach about 30 or 40 minutes from Washington, D.C. I forget the name of the beach, but there's a beach that's actually very close by. And so, people are trying to make the best of it. And, people are kind of spending time outside, having a cookout or barbecue, or just, walking around in parks and, or mountain areas and just kind of enjoying life. So you can make the best of it, with your family and friends. Just make sure you wear a mask, and social distance. But yeah, you should always find ways to have fun and enjoy life. Yeah, so I actually was planning to go back to Poland to meet all my friends. Excuse me, but because of COVID-19, I guess that won't be happening. But yeah, I mean, I think we still fly to certain areas like Cancun and Caribbean, Puerto Rico. I think we fly there and have fun. There are nice beaches there, so go there, enjoy yourselves if you want. Yeah, I mean, you could find things to enjoy in life in the midst of difficulty and hardship. And, um, it's, one of the things that I'm doing now is I'm running for U.S. Congress of Virginia's 8th District. And I've started it before COVID-19 hit, United States. And it was fun just going to all the, events and recruiting events to get volunteers, campaigning events, fundraising events. These are like a lot of fun. I know several Republican committees are having cookouts and barbecues and fun activities this weekend. And I'm sure church groups are having fun. Maybe tomorrow after church, some church groups will have a barbecue or an outing. Some may have a pool party. Some may even hit the beach, after worship service. Worship service is like at 10 or 9 o'clock or 11. You could easily go to like a nearby beach or park. Just kind of spend some time with your church friends. So I'm sure a lot of people will be doing that. You just have to make the best out of the situation. And after COVID-19 hit and everything was closed down, I still find ways to share my ideas and to campaign for my election. As you know, I'm an official candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. That's Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, parts of Fairfax County. So I'm officially registered as a U.S. Congress candidate in Virginia's 8th District with Federal Election Commission. So you could Google Federal Election Commission, and then once that site comes up, you could put my name in there, Kim, Heerak Christian, and then you can see my campaign. Federal Election Commission monitors every candidate, like President Trump, my opponent, Don Beyer, who's a Democrat. I'm independent. And they monitor all the federal level election candidates. Obviously, even the incumbents have to run for office. They could lose office. I mean, the guy who's won for like 8 or 9 terms lost to AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's like a newbie. So things like that do happen. So even if you're like been in Congress or Senate for the longest time, you still have to campaign. So this is like an election year. So if you're up for election, you have to campaign. And Don Beyer has been elected like several times, but he's campaigning, and he could lose. I'm hoping I win. So so all the candidates are being monitored by Federal Election Commission, so you could check out their records. It's all public record. I'm also registered with the United States House of Representatives, Office of the Clerks. I'm very official with U.S. House of Representatives. So Nancy Pelosi knows I'm running. All of us who are running for U.S. Congress are registered with the Office of the Clerk at U.S. Congress. So you could Google that website and look up my name. I'm official, I'm legit. So I'm happy to be running for office. Right now, Virginia, each state has its own election laws because election is conducted in the state. So it's conducted by the state using state law. So in Virginia, there's the Virginia Board of Elections that kind of runs the elections. And so it's a state of Virginia entity. And there's a Virginia state law that requires 1,000 signatures to be submitted by June 9th. And as I've shared with you, I couldn't do that because Governor Northam declared a state of emergency, state of order from March 30th to June 10th. So June 10th is one day after the 1,000 signatures were submitted. But because of the stay-at-home executive order by Governor Northam, I obviously could not go and collect signatures because it's illegal to knock on the door and collect signatures during this period. So I asked the Virginia Board of Elections to give me a waiver for the 1,000 signatures because it's impossible for me to collect signatures. And Virginia commissioner wrote back and said he doesn't have legal authority to do that. So I wrote to Governor Northam and he hasn't written back. So I ended up suing Virginia Governor Northam and Virginia Board of Election in Arlington Circuit Court. I submitted the lawsuit there. And Circuit Court is throughout the state of Virginia. And so if you go to Arlington Circuit Court, if you Google Arlington Circuit Court, you can check out the cases. You could click civil because it's a civil case, and then type in my name, Kim, Heerak Christian, and my case will come up. And currently, Virginia sheriffs are in the process of serving the lawsuit to Virginia Governor Northam and Virginia Board of Elections. I'm the plaintiff, they're the defendants. So you can follow along, just check back in the website and see if the Virginia sheriffs have served yet or not. And all the cases, you can just follow along. It's common public knowledge, public information. Everything that happens in U.S. state court is public information. I mean, everything that Virginia Governor Northam says, I say in court, you could ask for a transcript and, read the transcript, and sometimes a video recording. So you could order the video recording and see it. Yeah, so I'm excited because this is going to be very public, and so I'm with you till November 3rd. I'm an official candidate for U.S. Congress until November 3rd. So I'm very excited. I'm expecting the court to order waiver of the 1,000 signatures since I filed before the deadline of June 9th, and everything is legit. So because the court overturns any kind of laws that there are based on the situation. And it was impossible for me to submit signatures by June 9th because of executive order by Governor Northam to stay at home. So I'm sure the court will give me what I want, which is waiver of 1,000 signatures. So you'll see my name on the ballot on November 3rd. So yeah, I'm excited. So I'm official and legit. I'm registered with the court. I filed a lawsuit. It's filed. It can't be undone. So I'm just waiting for the Virginia sheriffs to serve the governor of Virginia Board of Election. I filed in June 3rd. So that process has started on June 3rd. And so it's officially started. And then on June 3rd, before the deadline. And then once Virginia Sheriff serves Virginia Governor Northam and Virginia Board of Election, what will happen is the court will issue a date for the hearing, and then and we'll go from there. So, I mean, this can go all the way to the Supreme Court. So, you could always appeal the decision of the court if they don't give you what you want. So you could go from Circuit Court, I guess, to Supreme Court of Virginia, and then U.S. I mean, it goes all the way up to Supreme Court. So I'm kind of excited, because it's yeah. I mean, once you file, you're in there. Yeah. So everything is official, and as I said, if you're a Christian and if people mistreat you because you oppose gay marriage or homosexuality or abortion, I encourage you to file in the court of law against anyone who violates your right as a Christian to oppose gay marriage and homosexuality and abortion. Doesn't matter if it's a university like Georgetown University or Marymount University or George Mason University. Doesn't matter if it's a employer like Amazon or Google or an individual. So I would encourage Christians to file lawsuits to fight mistreatment and discrimination of evangelical Christians and practicing Catholics who follow the Bible to oppose abortion or gay marriage, because you have the right to do that, and people do not have the right to discriminate against you. And once you file a lawsuit, they could be fined or they could be in prison. People violate laws, your right to your religion. So yeah, you should file your lawsuits against whichever entity violates your rights. Yeah, so I'd encourage you to do that. There is no such thing as lost causes. Today we celebrate Saint Anthony, who's a patron saint of the lost. But that is to say, he's the patron saint of the lost, meaning, even the people who consider themselves as lost have a patron saint who's going to help them, right? So today, we celebrate Saint Anthony of Padua. And if you feel like you're lost, don't feel that way, because you have a patron saint, Saint Anthony, who watches over you. And so, yeah, so you're very blessed. We have a lot of great saints in the history of Christianity. I would encourage you to read about them. There are a lot of information out there in the web. You could Google, Saint Anthony of Padua and get more information on him. There are videos of his life, and so find out more about it. Yeah, and don't forget to vote for me on November 3rd, 2020. Yeah, there's no one who's lost. I mean, if you feel you're lost, you have a patron saint, Saint Anthony. COVID-19 is going up by about 1,000 every day. It went down a little bit lower today. So we have 759 deaths in the last 24 hours. So yesterday we had 114,643 total deaths in America. And today we have 115,402 total deaths. Confirmed cases are going up relatively at the same rate, between 20 to 30,000. So yesterday we had 2,046,646. Today we have total COVID-19 cases at 2,074,082. So yeah, yeah, so it's going up, consistently, and 6% of the people who are getting the cases are dying. So that's been fairly consistent in America. So if we have 10 million, we're probably going to have, 60% of that, which will be 600,000 who die from COVID-19. Yeah, so yeah, or actually, it's 6%. So if it's 1 million, it is 60,000. And if it's 2 million, it's like 120,000, which we are, roughly at, a little bit lower, but so yeah, 10 million, we would have 600,000, and at 20 million, we would have around, 1.2, a little bit, around there, 1.2 million Americans will die. So yeah, yeah. So that's where we are. We're now at 100,000, 115,000. So we're a little bit below 120,000, but we're close. It's around 120,000. So yeah. So 6% of all cases are ending up in death. So that is to say, more people getting infected means more people will end up on the death figure. Since the rate is fairly steady. Obviously, if the hospitals get overwhelmed and you run out of hospital beds or ventilators, PPEs, the rate of death may go higher from 6%. But yeah, today we're going to look at the top 5 deaths. So Brazil, we have 850,514 cases, and their deaths are at 42,720. So 5% of people are getting COVID-19 in Brazil are dying. So they have less than us in terms of rate of death, but still they're pretty high. Brazil just beat United Kingdom for the second highest number of deaths. So right now, United States has the highest number of deaths, and then Brazil is number 3, and United Kingdom is Brazil is number 2, and United Kingdom is number 3. Yeah, so Brazil, it had under 10,000 deaths just a few weeks ago, and it just skyrocketed. The death rate skyrocketed in Brazil, and you have a lot of people dead. I was reading an article today on CNN and the drug pushers, drug dealers are now like handing out medication, according to the article, because there's so many COVID-19 deaths everywhere. People getting it and suffering from it, and a lot of people dying. And I guess that they're not really seeing any decrease in deaths, so you expect to see the death rate rise in Brazil. And unfortunately, a lot of people are dying in Latin America. Peru has second highest number of cases at 220,749. Their deaths are at 6,308. So 3% are dying, but it's steadily rising. Chile has 167,355 cases, and the death rate is at 3,101. 2% are dying, so their death rate is fairly low, but they're seeing a steady increase in death nonetheless at a low percentage rate. But the serious problem is Mexico. They have 142,690 cases, but they are ending up in death at the 12% rate. So they now have total death at 16,872. It's incredible, how fast that rate is rising in Mexico. So if you're Mexican, you probably should be worried. It's continuing to go up. Colombia has 46,994 cases, and their death is at 1 million, not 1 million, 1,623. So it's going up at 3%. But talking about 1 million, I'm predicting that 1 million of Americans will die by August, because there are a lot of states where COVID-19 is aggressively going up, like Texas, Arizona, Florida, Alabama, North Carolina. So that's a worry. But let's see what happens. In Virginia, we only had 7 people die in the last 24 hours. So a lot of Virginians are encouraged to go to the beach and have fun. Just make sure you wear a mask and keep 6 feet of distance from you with other people. Yeah, just do fun things with your friends, but just make sure you wear a mask and keep 6 feet. I would say keep like 10 feet distance just to be safe. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Yesterday we celebrated graduation of Wakefield High School because I taught at Wakefield High School, so I wanted to congratulate the high school seniors who graduated from Wakefield. But I also want to congratulate Petersburg City Public School graduates. As you know, I taught 8th grade math at Peabody Middle School. They changed their name, and now it's Vernon Johns Middle School, and they even changed the building. When I was there, it wasn't accredited. Petersburg High School wasn't accredited, but because of my teaching there, it's gotten better, and now it's provisionally accredited. After my having taught there, but the middle school, Peabody Middle School, wasn't accredited for the longest time, like for as long as everybody remembers, like decades. It was never accredited. So it's a historic moment for Petersburg public schools, especially the middle school, which has basically never been accredited to be accredited. It's provisionally accredited, so it's not totally accredited. It's kind of in a provisional accredited status, but still, they're celebrating there, and I'm happy for them. So I want to congratulate all the teachers who made that possible over there, and my fellow teachers. Congratulations to you guys. You did it. You did it. You got provisionally accredited. So yeah, when I was there, we were working really, really hard to get provisional accreditation. Yeah, we worked really, really, really hard. It was worth it. We worked hard, and our hard work has paid off. And so yeah. And you see there, that's the emblem of Petersburg City Public Schools, and that's the central office. I went there many, many times, and yeah. So one of the things that I really liked about Petersburg Public School, it's like 99% African American. And one of the things that I liked about Petersburg was, like, whenever we had like teachers meetings, we used to always pray. Like when we had like meal, like food, we prayed before the meal. And yeah, there's a lot of devout Christians in the school district among teachers, administrators, staff, and it was really nice, just being part of the Christian community there, and they pray for their students, and they love them in the love of the Lord. Very, very Christian, school district. Like the teachers and leaders were very, very devout Christians. So I really appreciated that. Yeah. So I hope, wish you the best with, what all the good things that you're doing over there. Yeah. I just wanted to share with you. I'm just remembering the joy of serving Georgetown University graduate students. I served as the vice president of the graduate student government from 2019 to 2020 academic year. And it was a great joy to serve them as vice president. And I've done a lot to meet the needs of graduate students there. And I made some good friends. So I have some photos of serving graduate students at Georgetown University as the vice president. Yeah, so you see, like I'm making a lot of new friends. Some are old friends, and you see the picture of Jack the Bulldog, who's the emblem for, who's like our mascot for Georgetown, and that you can find in front of Healy Family Student Center, which is like the student center for Georgetown University students, and a lot of the events take place in that center. And so we have our graduation Christmas party there, and I shared with you the photos from there. You know, like we had a career day, and I went there to help people with their, you know, finding jobs and stuff like that. You know, it's one of the services that we provide graduate student government for graduate students. We have like 9,000 graduate students at Georgetown University from all different schools, you know, nursing school, medical school, business school, school of foreign policy, school of public policy, you know, in the graduate school. And, you know, so, you know, we try to meet their needs. And so one of the things that we do is try to help them find jobs, because what's the point of going to graduate school if you can't find jobs, right? The whole point of a graduate program is to not only provide the education, but to provide jobs that are better jobs than when students started the program. So one of the obligations of all graduate schools is to make sure their graduates find good jobs, right? And a lot of the national rankings rank the schools based on what kind of jobs the graduates got. You know, that's an important part of how graduate programs and graduate schools are ranked. And obviously the reputation of graduate schools are based on how well the graduates of the graduate program advance in society in terms of leadership positions or higher paying jobs. These are all indicators, and it's very important for recruiting future students. So that's a very important thing. Yeah, I want to take this time to congratulate the clinical nurse leader class of 2020. I'm part of that. We have 25 people graduating from clinical nurse leader program at Georgetown University School of Nursing and Health Studies. We're all excited. We worked so hard for 2 years and we achieved. So I just want to say congratulations. Congratulations, everybody in clinical nurse leader program at Georgetown University. You did it. I did it. We did it. This is our year, our summer. Congratulations. I love you guys. Yeah, so we're all excited. You know, there are several of us who were hired like in May and April. You know, there are other of us who are now applying for jobs. I'm currently interviewing with several hospitals for nursing jobs. I'm really excited. I'm not rich like Don Beyer, the Democrat incumbent who's a current US congressman. So I actually have to work full time while running my election. So that's why, you know, I'm graduating with my fellow clinical nurse leader members this summer. This is our final semester, summer semester 2020. So I'm applying for jobs. I'm interviewing now with several hospitals. So as soon as we're done with our program in August, I'll be working full time as a nurse, and I'll be running my election. Obviously, you know, I intend to win in November 3rd, 2020. Look at the trust in his eyes. He's like, Harry's like, yes, Heerak's gonna win. Yes, Heerak's gonna win. Yeah, you see that look? He has full confidence in me. Yeah. So I'm really excited, you know, about you know, helping people through working at the hospital full time while running my election campaign. And I intend to win in November 3rd, 2020. So vote for me on November 3rd so I can help you and your family. As you know, I've created this show to help you and your family survive. So I provide some information that you need. Yeah, I'm happy to be here providing you with statistics and updates, things that you need to survive. You know, I give you information on how to have fun safely, when to be cautious, when to hold back and stay home, when to kind of have fun and celebrate. Right now, it's graduation time. And obviously, if you're parents, you have to find ways to celebrate with your kids because it's a momentous event in their life, graduating from college or high school. So there are beaches nearby, like in Maryland, Ocean City, and Delaware. You could drive up there and just kind of have some fun time with your family members. There are parks, there are a lot of things you can do safely. Make sure everybody's wearing a mask and keeping like more than 6 feet of distance. But yeah, yeah, go and have fun, Go to church, have a picnic afterwards, fellowship with church members. Yeah. So make sure you wear a mask and keep more than 6 feet of distance though. But yeah, so this is a time you should enjoy your friendships. Your whatever you're doing, you should be enjoying it. Right now, kind of focusing on these job applications and interviews to get hired, and also obviously I'm in the middle of a summer semester, so a lot of stuff to do for school. So I'm kind of focusing on that, and also um, there are a lot of things that I'm working on, like my research on helping inner city public schools. So I'm working on the research on that. And so, I'm trying to do a lot of things, but, I enjoy weekends and, try to have fun. And I'm a fun loving guy. So, yeah. So, so I try my best to maximize my day and my life. So it's been good. I want my life to be meaningful. The way you do that, obviously, number one is to glorify God, find ways to glorify God and be faithful to His word. But also, there are things that we can do in our life to make, our lives have meaning in the world. And so I've created this show to help you survive COVID-19, help your children survive COVID-19. And when I was at Georgetown, before the school closed down, and it's like campus is empty now, but it was empty since March. But I helped fellow Georgetown graduate students with their job search, with career finding, the job search, and like kind of trying to find careers for those who don't know what they want. Just kind of giving them guidance. I actually went. The photo on the top left corner is with Ulas. He's from Turkey. He's an MBA student at Georgetown. So he and we went to, well, not just him, I actually met them there, but I applied for Georgetown University Business School has this program called, CalTrack. Cal stands for California, track. So basically MBA students apply to this program, and for 3 days you go to San Francisco area and meet managers and HR hiring people in the IT sector. And so, I'm in nursing, but one of the things that I want to do is integrate IT into nursing intervention. And so I have interest in that. And I was thinking about starting a company that integrates IT and nursing. And that was before I started my campaign. The CalTrack was on, it was like January 2nd, or was it January 2nd to January 4th, 2019. So that was, over a year ago that I went on that program. So it was, many months before I decided to run for US Congress. So my original plan was to start like an internet company, well, it could involve internet, IT company that integrates healthcare and nursing care. So obviously, because I was serious about it, I applied for this program. It takes only about 40 people. And I'm the only non-MBA student who got accepted into the program. So I went with all these MBA students to San Francisco on CalTrack with Georgetown University Business School. And so I met Ulas there. We became good friends. And, you see other members of CalTrack there, 2 photographs over. That's also at the Google campus. Yeah, there are 2 Indian guys were MBA students, and the white guy is an MBA student as well from Oregon. So it was, they were all MBA student. I was, I'm not an MBA student. I'm master's in the School of Nursing and Health Studies in the clinical nursing program. I was the only non-MBA student there. But, it's always nice to meet people who are in different schools. And you learn so much from them because they have different perspectives. So I enjoy the 3 days, just kind of being with them, spending time and meeting managers and executives from Google, Netflix, you know, Allbirds, there are a lot of companies in San Francisco that we went to. Yeah, it was a learning experience for me because, business world isn't really my world. My world is nursing. Their world is, business. Everyone else was an MBA student. But yeah, it was a great experience learning. And yeah, so it kind of gave me a deeper perspective as well, which I think I can use as a U.S. congressman to help you and help everyone in Virginia's 8th district. So I'm excited. Every experience can build on your previous experience to make you more competent. And that's why I think I'm so much better than Don Beyer, the Democrat congressman right now, to serve you as a U.S. congressman, Virginia's 8th district, Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County. Look at all the experiences that I have. I mean, I have expertise in education. I've taught high school, like secondary schools, 8th graders math at Peabody Middle School, which now is in Vernon Johns Middle School in Petersburg Public Schools. I taught Wakefield High School, English as second language students. I'm a teacher of elementary school students, 5th graders, Savoy Tigers. You see my shirt? Savoy Tigers, rock the park, rock the park. One of my students designed this shirt. And we had a t-shirt design contest and she won. And so we designed these shirts to kind of get people psyched about park exam. Park exam is like a annual assessment that is like national, certainly statewide in District of Columbia Public Schools. So we just wanted all our students to get psyched out. So we had t-shirt designing contest. And it was a really nice design, don't you think? Yeah, so rock the park. Yeah, so yeah, so yeah, so I have a lot of good memories from Savoy Elementary School. Pencil, sharpener. You know how many pencils and sharpeners I went through? Oh my gosh. Not for myself, but I've always bring pencils and sharpeners for my students, and yeah, it's a daily ritual. Bring pencils and sharpeners for my students, but I love my students. I wanted to make sure that they have what they needed to succeed academically, and it's important for teachers to love their students and to help them succeed. You have to set up your students for success. And as an educator, I feel strongly about that, that the role of an educator is to set up your students for success. And so I worked hard to do that at Petersburg City Public Schools School District, which is basically 99% African American, and also at District of Columbia Public Schools. And when I taught at Wakefield High School, Arlington Public Schools. So, so I had a lot of good ideas on what to do to improve the public school system throughout the United States of America. So when I get elected as a U.S. Congressman in Virginia's 8th District, one of the things that I want to do is do some reforming of public schools, especially inner city public schools, so we can provide equity in education, so we could improve the education for African American students and Hispanic students in the inner city, so that their future can look bright. And so that's one of my priorities, is to improve public schools, particularly inner city public schools in the United States. Because I think many African Americans and Hispanics have raw deal in terms of education. Because I taught in, at Wakefield High School, where everybody gets like a free computer, Apple computer. I don't even have Apple computer now as a Georgetown graduate student, because Apple computers are expensive, but in Arlington public schools, everybody gets a free like an Apple computer, and so that's so different from, let's say, District of Columbia public schools where no one gets a computer, you know, to take home, and we have computer cards, and in a typical computer card, we have like half a dozen to dozen computers broken, and these computers are from like 10 years ago, like 5 years ago. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But and we share this computer card. So each day, each teacher have to say, like each teacher had to say in advance when they want the computer card for their classroom. And our Mr. Reed, he arranges for the classroom teacher to get the computer card for that particular time slot. And yeah, so we bring the computers in, and then because there isn't enough computer for every student. There's generally enough computers just for one class, So we have to sign up, and the computer cards come, and then we use it, and then with the computer laptops back into the card and charge it, and then have it ready for the next teacher. So yeah, I mean it's a world of difference, inner city, and Savoy Elementary School is only 5 miles from here. It's like about 1.5 miles away from the Capitol building, and the conditions are pretty bad. It's in Ward 8 in a Acosta neighborhood, and so there's a lot of discrepancies, that makes it difficult for African Americans to succeed. And so Savoy Elementary School is 100% African American. So that's where I taught fifth graders before going to Georgetown University. I entered Georgetown University in the summer of 2018, and I've been there full time for 2 years with my cohort members, CNL 2020 cohort members. And, so basically we went from like fall, spring, summer, 2 years. So we worked really hard, but it was worth it, because now I'm applying for these nursing jobs, and I want to save lives doing work as clinical nurse leader that I'm trained to do at Georgetown University. I have around 3.5 GPA, so that's like an A- GPA. So I think I'm one of the better students in among the 25 students. So I'm probably like closer to the top. With my GPA, I would imagine. I didn't go and ask everybody's GPA, but and so yeah, so I'm good at what I do. I worked hard to achieve. I'm competent at what I do. I've done a lot of important things in the 2 years, and yeah, so whichever hospital gets me will be very, very blessed. Yeah, so I have an interview coming up next week as well, so I'm pretty excited about that. So let's see which hospital will get me. Yeah, so I'm really excited. Yeah, I registered for my clinical nurse leader national certification exam with the Commission of Nursing Certification. So I got a confirmation email saying that I'm all good to go. So I guess right now because of COVID-19, all the test centers are closed, I guess. So the Commission on Nursing Certification said that they'll send me an email letting me know where I need to go to take my test. And I guess that's what they're doing with everyone who registered for the CNL exam. Yeah, so that email is going to go out, I think, July 4th, around that time. The testing is in August, so it's plenty of time before the testing to know where you have to go. But yeah, so I'm all good to go. I paid the registration fee. I'm officially registered with Commission on Nursing Certification. I got the green light to take the exam. I'm all set to go. So yeah, so I'm really excited. Yeah, so you'll be seeing me around maybe in your local hospital as a full-time nurse, taking care of you. So I know you're pretty excited at the site. I'll have my standard issue pen light, kind of saying, looking into your eyes, looking into your nose, you're looking into your mouth to see there's no problem there. You're looking into your ears with this pen light. Say, ah. Can you swallow? Yeah, one of the things that we check in nursing is whether you can swallow. Because if you can't swallow, then you could choke on your own food and die. Yes, that does happen. You can choke on your own food and die. And that's why you could even choke on water and die. Yeah. So one of the very important things that uh, we check is whether you can swallow. So yeah, can you swallow? Open wide. Say ah. Say ah. Yeah. So see the. Yeah. So one of the very important things is to ensure that you can swallow, so you don't like choke on your own food and die, or choke on the water and die. Because if you can't swallow, the water can go into your lungs. Your food particles can go into your lungs, and it can actually become a pneumonia. There are people in America who die from pneumonia because small food particles enter their lungs. Yeah. If you're not able to swallow, food may go into the wrong area. Instead of going down through your stomach, the food particles can go down to your lung. And if you have food particles going into your lung, it will infect your lung, and then you get pneumonia and you could die from it. So yes, you could get pneumonia from like a virus, but you could get pneumonia from breathing in like mold or dust particles. Uh, and that happens to people, especially elderly people. They get pneumonia and die from just breathing in like dust particles. That's why it's important to make sure you keep a clean home. You could also, have food going down the wrong tube into the lung, and that food particle could cause a pneumonia that could cause you to die. So every year there are many people who die from pneumonia caused by little food particles going down the wrong tube. Yeah. So yeah. There's lot of dangers out there in terms of health. People die. There are a lot of ways people can die from even food, just like eating food. It go down the wrong tube. You could die from it through pneumonia. Yeah. Yeah, it's some scary stuff. But I went to nursing to save your life, and I created this show to save your life, right? So think of it as your Christmas. This is like Christmas rubber ducky. I'm here to help you. Created this show to help you, and I'm applying to these nursing jobs to help you, to save you in the hospital setting. So you're very lucky. So let's see which one of you will be the lucky ones to um, to experience my nursing care. Well, I want to say, just talking about clinical nurse leader, we work a lot. Our fellow clinical nurse leader students and me. I'm happy I achieved like 3.5 GPA. Which is an A minus GPA is respectable. So I'm happy that I was able to get like an A minus, average. And not to be competitive or anything, but to be at the higher end of my cohort program. It's always a joy to work hard and achieve and reap the fruits of your labor, right? So I'm really excited about that. So I'm excited about working in the hospital in August as a clinical nurse leader, as a nurse, helping you. Yeah, so I want to say congratulations to all the fellow clinical nurse leader members. Yeah, congratulations! We did it! Congratulations, everyone! In the Clinical Nurse Leader Program 2020 cohort at Georgetown University. So it's very exciting. Yeah, I'm sure everybody else is excited, like me too. Yeah, all of us are like applying for jobs, and hopefully everybody's getting interviewed and getting jobs. I know several people got jobs already, and we're getting good news. And I think right now only few people have jobs. Generally, since we're finishing in August, most people apply like in June. Um, last year's cohort, I remember talking to my friends from last year, clinical nurse leader 2019 cohort, and many of them apply like in June. Some even applied in July. And so I think that's like the standard time they apply. So I guess I'm a little bit early because I applied like, you know, like late May. But yeah, so I guess I'm like one of the people who are like on the ball. But there are people who applied much earlier, like in March. So there are people who applied in March or April who got jobs already. But not many. Like I think like only few people who applied like in March and April had jobs. So yeah, most of the people are in the process of applying. Some haven't even started yet. So get going, start applying, everyone. In my clinical nurse leader program, gotta submit your application for jobs. You know, a lot of people are going back home because of COVID-19. Like Brent's back in South Carolina with his girlfriend, or he's from North Carolina, but his girlfriend in South Carolina. So they're going to settle down in South Carolina. So he's going to find a job in South Carolina. Sheila is in Georgia. She's going to find a job in Georgia. That's where her family is. So I think most people are going back home to wherever they're from, you know, and so they're going to probably find a job back home. So I'm one of the few who's looking for jobs in Virginia, Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. But I think a lot of people are going home because of COVID-19. Even people who are considering staying in Washington, D.C., they're all going home, back to their home states, like in California, Illinois, you know, New Jersey, because they want to be near home just in case their parents get sick and die of COVID, I think. You know, that's a possibility. So I think most people want to be near home. You know, their grandparents could die of COVID. So I think majority of people are going back home. I'll be surprised if any, you know, more than 20% of my cohort will be working in DC area, just because like now everybody's going home wherever they are. They're all finding jobs back home. So I'm sure that's like that with all the nursing programs that, across the country. Like certainly in DC area with George Washington University, you know, George Mason University, Georgetown, Marymount University. I'm sure everybody's finding jobs back home just because of COVID-19. So yeah, I guess if you're a hospital in this area, you kind of have to worry because a lot of people are going to go back home because of COVID. Um, yeah. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, you may see me like in your hospital in the nearby area in this area. So let's see. You know, I'll keep you updated. You know, once I sign a contract with someone, I'll let you know. So you could make sure you come to that hospital to see me. No. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed the show. And oh, there's Christy over there. She's a director of alumni relations at GradGov. You know, for 2019-2020 academic year, with fellow executive board members, and you know we're like friends. So she's so nice. I love her. Oh, hey, Christy. But yeah, so hope everything is going well with everybody. You know, wow, school's been closed for months. You know, it's just incredible what happened in March. Does it feel real to you? What happened in March? Gosh, you know, it's amazing. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Harry's kind of looking at me like, yeah, I'm amazed too. That's the luck. I'm amazed. But yeah, they say that COVID-19 second wave is going to be far worse than the first wave. I mean, you know, basically, there's no, I mean, it's like 365 days a year. So I guess we could talk about it as a second peak. But some people are saying you're going to have like million die per month in the fall because of influenza A, influenza B combining with COVID-19. So maybe you should really have fun this summer because you may die in the winter. You know, you know, that's why I'm encouraging you to go out and have fun with your children because you may die in the winter, and your children need like some fun experiences with you to remember you by if you die in November from mixture of influenza A and COVID-19, because it's going to be worse. I mean, it's possible 1 million Americans can die per month. So this summer is actually very important for you because your children will remember you by this summer. So make sure you do some important and fun stuff while the beach is open, parks are open. You know, plan your time wisely because you may die in the fall. I mean, hopefully you won't die. Just keep watching this show, get advice, keep updates so you don't die. But you know, you may die. I mean, you know, you don't want to be in denial, right? It's possible that you can die this winter when there's a second peak. which is going to be far worse than the first peak, according to many experts. So just have fun with your children, your parents. This is a time to have fun, summer 2020. Look at how much fun I had in 2019 in Poland. I'm glad I did that. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be like this in 2020. If I waited like, oh, I'm going to wait until I graduate from clinical nurse leader program to have fun, I would not have had fun in Poland. And then I would not have had all those fun memories. I would not have had a bachelor in Poland with beautiful Polish women, singles that I dated. You have to see that show and see all the singles that I dated. Yeah. So, memories. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, don't waste summer 2020 because it may be your last summer with your children. It may be your last summer with um, with your wife or your husband. You don't know who's going to die this winter, so don't waste this summer. Make sure you do some fun things, especially if your children are young. Like they need memories, in case you die in the fall. I mean, they need memories. Make sure you take a lot of photos, create a Facebook page or Instagram is, sometimes better because you don't have to put a lot of stuff in there, just photos. You just upload photos. So it's kind of convenient and easy. Whereas Facebook is just like there's a lot you have to do. It's just a lot of work. But Instagram is like you just post a photo and you're good to go. So you may want to create like an Instagram page for your family to upload photos so your children have something to remember you by. If you die from COVID-19, like in the fall, in November, because there's a high chance you can, especially if you have like diabetes or, asthma or, if you're over 40, there's a high chance you'll die if you get COVID. So yeah, make memories now. Make photo albums, electronic photo albums now. So if you do die in the fall, your loved ones have something to remember you by for the rest of their lives, yeah. So yeah, make every day count. Like tomorrow, make sure tomorrow counts. Make sure Monday counts because you don't know when you're gonna die from COVID, because the summer, things are kind of slowing down, but all the experts are saying this winter it's gonna hit us big. So before the winter comes, I mean, I guess it starts like September. Before September, you want to do a lot of meaningful and fun things with your children, because this is time that you have with your children. You could see it as a gift of God, because you may die in the fall. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad that you were able to join me for this show. And yeah, I hope you have a good time at church tomorrow and, have fun with your church friends. Do something meaningful with your children, your family members. Yeah, make every day count, every day. Live every day like it's going to be your last day. I mean, you still have like until winter and, fall, until September, but I mean, you want to make every day count. So, yeah. So, well, I'm glad that you were able to join me for this show. I'm glad that you had the chance to hear me encourage you to make every day count with your children. Maybe somebody told you that, maybe no one told you, but someone had to tell you. And I'm happy that I'm the one to have told you if nobody else have told you yet. Yeah, so yeah, make every day count with your children and make some positive memories, fond memories with your children. This is the time to do it. And check back tomorrow. This is a daily show. I have something for you every day, something that will make your life more meaningful, your life much more positive, and your children's life much more positive. So every show has something that you can benefit from. So tune in every day. Tell your friends and family members to tune in tomorrow as well, so that their life can be much more meaningful and fruitful as well. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I hope that your family will be well and that your children will be well too. See you tomorrow. Bye.